Welcome to the Prospect Warehouse podcast. You have two of the three amigos here. You have me, Tim Kanak at Fantasy Aceball, and you have John Anderson at John PGH.
It's blue shirt day. We just blend right in.
Yeah, we almost have like camouflage if you're watching on YouTube to blend straight into the background.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a Phillies. I got a Phillies hoodie on. I got it for my birthday. Shout out to my wife.
That's pretty sick.
Because
shirt on.
Yeah, because it's fitting that I'm on the Pirates one, as everybody knows. All readers of mine know that I've been fighting this battle for years of trying to not be a Pirate fan anymore, and I've done a pretty good job. Like, I'm not actually, I watch the games in April or something, April, May, and then it's over by June, and I've been pretty good at just like, okay, I don't care, I can, like, it's fine, it doesn't bother me, but like as soon as they are in the playoff race again, like I know it's all going to come swarming back, so I'm kind of taking the like lame way out. But I was trying to be a Phillies fan this year, and then it didn't work. But I still, the Pirates are the organization I certainly know the most about, so maybe I can actually help here.
Yes. So let's dig right in. Top 20. Start on the backside. Number 20 is Jack Brannigan. He's been around for a hot minute. Third rounder a few years back. Nice power. Actually, this is a name that I'm like, is he still really top 20? I feel like he's been lingering around a little bit. He was hurt last year, only played 59 games. But when I pulled him up with the F scores, his power was still good old 120 power. So I'm like, okay, he's in AA. Yeah, he's a little older, 24 and a half. He'll be AAA next year. But there is still some power potential here. Now, will he ever be a starter? Probably not. The Pirates have some good prospects, but that doesn't mean he couldn't be like a good pinch hitter, because those are pretty solid F scores for Brannigan. It's just more like he needs to be healthy. And yeah, he's a little bit older for the level, so just something to consider with him. And why is it number 20?
Yeah, it looks like the slug dropped quite a bit this year, down to 365 homers. Good amount of strikeouts and stuff, but yeah.
59 games. He was hurt.
Right. Yeah, I mean 37 homers the few years before that. Still limited time. Yeah, not very durable. They're 84 on the durability, but okay, that's good.
Yep, shoulder surgery too, so that can explain the drop in the slug. Shoulder's bad.
There's no F shoulder surgery score here to know that kind of stuff.
No F shoulder surgery. Number 19 is Wilbur Dotel. Wilbur Dotel is a starting pitcher for the Pirates at AA. 16.4 K- walk rate, so pretty solid K- walk on the season. And like, I don't think he's going to be a stud or anything. I mean, he's only been posting like 11, 12, 13% swing strike rates. So there's like really nothing sexy strikeout wise here, but he could be one of these underrated like number 5 starter guys. And if you're in a deep league, you need that. So Wilbur Dotel, name to keep an eye on.
Not related to Octavio, unfortunately. I just looked it up.
I wish. Number 18, Johan De Los Santos. He is in the DSL. Yeah, I know you love those guys. So Johan De Los Santos, middle infielder, DSL. Number 17, Antoine Kelly, starting pitcher. And number 16 is Kiner Delgado, second baseman. I've actually seen Kiner Delgado a few times. He's a fun player, but he's really volatile. So either he's really good or really bad. He goes through really good stretches, really bad stretches. But they got him from the Yankees a couple of years back. 21 years old at high A this year. 14 bombs, 21 steals. So there is like kind of like a fun fantasy skill set here. He walks a little bit too. He's a short dude, he's listed at 5'7", but he might be shorter than that. Switch hitter, middle infielder. So like kind of like a worse, rougher Ozzie Albies type, but I think he could be a major leaguer. So I think Kiner Delgado is a guy to keep an eye on. Interesting.
8 homers in May this year. Slugged 548, 8 homers in May, 28% K rate. So he's really going for it. And then he got rid of the K rate. It was under 21% every month after that, but hit only 6 homers the rest of the way. So
I told you he's volatile, dude. Yeah. Like he's he's all over the place. He's for people who know John more instead of me. If you follow me, I do like a weekly article and I do like a weekly podcast on prospects throughout the season. And like Kiner Delgado is one of these guys where it's like either he's really in and he's like, oh, this he could be almost a top 10 guy for this week, or he just like is terrible and is like oh for whatever. So
Is
it's
that article gonna be on MLB Data Warehouse this year?
yeah, we'll
All
have to
right.
do articles on MLB Data Warehouse podcast too. So I don't know if the weird thing is since I had been writing for Fantasy
Right.
Pros, I never get to see the data behind my articles, so I never know how many readers I get.
Yeah.
But I do actually get to see how many people listen to my podcast. So no idea how many people read my stuff.
Well, you'll know if you come to us, and they're just better people too. It's way better people
Yes, for sure.
than the
15.
lamos on Fantasy Pros.
15. I'm not going to touch that.
All right.
15 third baseman Murph Gray. Murph Gray was a draftee, recent draftee. So he's going to be a first year player draft guy if you're into first year player drafts. But he's a big time power guy. They drafted him from Fresno State. Basically, like I think they drafted him because they're like, we are so sick of Brian Hayes that we are going to draft the opposite
Yeah.
version to play third base for us now, because he probably will have a decent amount of swing and miss, even though he only struck out 10% of the time in college. It was Fresno State, so it's not like he was playing SEC. But 18 bombs, so some big time power here for Murph Gray at the college level. That's what he's known for. So interesting name. Who was I think he was a third round. He's either a second or third rounder. I think he was a third rounder because I'm seeing here comp pick, and there's like comps in every round now. I think he's a third rounder though, but they almost paid him $1 million. But I like Murph Gray a little bit. 14 is Nick York, second baseman. Yes, can you believe it that Nick York is still a prospect, John?
Well, how does it work? How do you get out of that status?
Okay, so it depends on how you weigh it. I think time on roster, he's actually not a prospect, but as far as at bats, he is. He only has 106 professional at bats. You need 130 to not be a prospect. And I don't want to or care to look up everybody's time on a roster. So all I use for my prospect rankings is basically at bats and innings pitched. I'm not going to go up and look up how many days you've been on the 40 man. I don't have that kind of time available.
Yeah. Here's the major league stats here. Zoom in a little bit. It's been a struggle in the majors, but like you said, like less than a month's worth of time, 583 OPS. Strikeouts are under control, doesn't walk, kind of a I liked him a ton last year. So once it hits November and December, I cannot control myself, and I start doing these NFBC 50 round drafts. So by the time you get to some of them are 15 teams, 50 rounds, and it's redraft, so you're not really looking. But you have to find these dudes that are like gonna start in Double A or Triple A, but you think could come up and take a job. And like York was one of my main guys to get because he had like good power. At least he had good swing speed and good foot speed. Like he kind of seemed to have the tools, and the Pirates certainly seemed like a team he could end up being a starter for. But then like he just never could even overcome like Isaiah Kiner Falefa or these other dudes. Just never did it. And then the minor league stats. I mean, I guess we shouldn't have gotten too excited because he was the return for Quinn Priester back way before Quinn Priester was like worth anything. But minor league this year, fine, I guess, 406 slugging, 754 OPS, but that's really not something you're knocking down the major league door with. So that's a freaking another bummer to add to the list of Pirate fan bummers.
His issue is angles, man. That's the issue because he hits the ball hard, but he hits the ball on the ground a lot, and he like never barrels the ball. He had a 1.9% barrel rate this year in the majors, and he hits the ball on the ground like in AAA, 52% ground ball rate this year, and in the majors is 51.9. So it's not like it's like a volatile thing. Last year he was much better at that, but this year it just hit the ball on the ground a ton, like terrible angles. Because like 113 max EV on the year is pretty good. So he hits the ball hard. He just doesn't hit it in the air.
Yeah, last year 43% ground ball rate, 6% barrel rate. The barrel rates for AAA, it might not match up with other sources. I mean, there are only a few sources of barrel rates from AAA, but I do mine completely. I wrote my own little it's like a one of the little like basic models to take launch angle and EV. So it might not match exactly, but they'll be close. So 6% last year, but then like Tim just said, this year comes down on barrel rate to 4% I have in AAA, and then a 53% ground ball rate. Those two things go hand in hand. You cannot hit a barrel if it's on the ground, unless you're. The O'Neill Cruz like seems to almost try. That guy gets very close, but yeah, not great for Nick York. But maybe some hope for next year. There's certainly still problems in the middle infield in Pittsburgh.
Yep. Next on the list, and we are at number 13, is Rafael Flores, who made a cup of coffee debut or whatever at the very end of the season. So probably a lot of Pirates fans weren't even paying attention by the time he debuted.
I saw that
But he
game. I assumed that was someone they like picked up just to like get them through the season, but he's actual prospect.
Yeah, he's an interesting prospect because he's big, 6'4", 232 pounds, and he hit 22 homers on the season. Well, like I like there's other first basemen. Like I like Esmeralin Valdez way better. So like I don't think he's like a long-term guy. Flores is pretty interesting. Could be like he kind of reminds me of like some of those Guardians guys. Like they had Jean Kenzie Novell come up and like some guys like that. He could do that. Like he could come up and have a nice little run. So a decent amount of power here, pretty solid hit tool. Like, yeah, so 100 hit tool. So he has got a league average hit tool with a 112 power. Yeah. So there could be some hidden power here. Well, I think like he's probably more like a stopgap guy than like a full-time guy. He might be like the Pirates' first baseman next year.
First of all, 75% Z contact, that's really bad in AAA, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I've had this problem since I was a kid, and I guess I'll just I'll tell my emotional stories here. But the Pirates, and maybe I'm old school, but I just couldn't believe that the Pirates with like a pretty attractive right field wall, right? Like that's pretty good for left-handed power, and like there were all kinds of these first basemen. Who cares about the defense? Whatever. Like you can't screw it up that bad at first base. Can we not just find someone that can hit 25 to 30 homers? Like it seems so simple. I don't know. And they just had never done it. And they tried all these dudes. I mean, we had Derek Lee. I'm not going to say we. Not we. Again, like, see, there I go again.
They're back.
They tried Lyle Overbay. Pedro Alvarez had to go over there because he literally couldn't throw the ball 90 feet. I mean, they've tried all this stuff. And I don't know. The last good Pirates first baseman, maybe it's probably Kevin Young. And maybe he wasn't even good. He probably just seemed good because I was 12 years old and like, or 8 years old or whatever, and I was like, oh, this guy's good. I want to be like him, but he's probably trash too. So the first base is just a total disaster for the Pirates, and I don't care. Like I've always been perfectly happy to have a dude hitting 220, but just hit 25 homers for goodness sake. Like it doesn't seem that hard to get somebody that can do that.
Don't worry, you have a couple of the better ones that we'll talk about later.
Okay.
Here's a better one actually, who's just a level below is Kalen Moss. This is Doc's boy, number 12,
friend of the pod, a friend of the pod, a friend of the pod. We could say
a fifth degree.
Yeah.
What is it? 5 degrees of separation or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kalen Moss, they got him in trade this year.
For Bailey Falter, I can't believe it.
Yeah, nice little piece here. Yeah. He hit 287, 384, 457 on the season, 13 bombs and 17 steals. And you can see those F scores. He is this is like the definition of slightly above average across the board. So
and for the Pirates, man, that is like you're cooking.
Yeah, 104 power, 101 hit, 104 discipline, 100 speed. Like that's a solid big league regular here. Yeah. So at least if Kalen Moss is the first baseman for the Pirates, at least you're treading league average.
Yeah. I guess I did disrespect Spencer Horwitz a little bit. He really finished strong after he got over the wrist thing. I don't think he can play second base anymore. So I assume he's the locked in first baseman for a few years, but he's not someone that's going to block a budding prospect, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. 11 is Yordany De Los Santos, who is kind of like a pet favorite of mine. I saw this guy last year, right after he came up from DSL, and he made like one of the best defensive plays I've ever seen. Shortstop make. Like it was phenomenal. And then I saw him again a couple times this year. And when I saw him this year, he was actually like not good defensively. So it's kind of funny that he made that play. Then like he was like pretty bad defensively after. When I saw him,
you're talking about like one game. You're judging the guy on one play.
I've seen him 3 times, sir. So
Okay.
I'm talking about 3 different games here, which is solid for seeing someone. You see someone 3 times in minor leagues. But anyway, he's a good hitter. Like I saw him at one game. I think he was like on base I think he was like 5. He was either like 3 for 3 with 2 walks, but he's on base all 5 times that I saw him in one of the games I saw him this year. But good hitter. 51 steals on the season. So made it up to high A by the end of the season, played like 2 games there or whatever, but 11 home runs and 51 steals. So like he's just like This is like the definition of like the electric, like Dominican guy who's just like makes insane plays, but then is also like kind of sloppy at the same time. So it's like, is he going to really make the play or is he going to completely botch it? Because his tools are insane. Like there's a lot of power here. Big shortstop too, 6'2", 170. So there's a lot of power and speed here, and then there's a lot of like defensive capability. But like he really needs to work on mechanics and just like tightening up his game because the tools are ridiculous.
Seems like that's the Pirates type.
Ridiculous, yeah, ridiculous tools and like
Yeah.
no form.
Yeah,
So
really tall.
yeah,
Had 100% K rate in 3 plate appearances in elevated A. Sorry, what do we call that? High A.
high A,
High A. So,
elevated A.
better than I've been calling it A plus and docked in like that. So we'll
Yeah,
try to stick to
elevated
high
A. I like that.
A. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, like he's young, 20-year-old. So 103.4 90th EV. That's solid. Like that, you can live with that. It's not terrible. 8.2 barrel is good though. So he's making some quality contact to help with the holes in the swing.
All right.
Number 10, moving to the top 10, is starting pitcher Thomas Harrington. Most people
Yeah.
probably know him. He's debuted. He's still minor league eligible. I think Harrington is like a number 5 starter. He's the worst out of all these starters. Like these, I mean, like worst. He's still major leaguer, right? But out of between like Barco and Chandler and Skeens and all these other guys, like he's the worst of that group. But I think he's still a decent number 5 starter. He's a command first guy. I comped him when I wrote about him in my articles to like Nick Martinez type, where he's like not going to strike a lot of dudes out, but he's also not going to walk a lot of guys. He did have a down year this year.
Yeah.
Last year he was
8%.
significantly better.
His walk rate doubled.
Mm-hmm. Which you factor, is that ABS stuff or is that actually his command getting worse? It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to tell. You know,
What
like
about the ball
it,
rate? Would that
it,
is that a little bit better of a stat to look at? I mean, ABS would still factor into that, I guess, because the ball rate's not about where the pitch lands; it's about what it was called. So I guess it's the same thing, but we can.
yeah,
That's over
that'd be
here.
because the AAA zone they shrink. If you are unfamiliar, the AAA zone with the ABS is smaller than other zones, so it's a smaller zone. The hitters know how to use ABS to their advantage, so they will like only swing at fastballs or whatever. Like they won't even swing at breakers because a lot of time breakers land outside of the zone, and it's just not going to ding on the ABS. And the other thing is that they use a different ball. So there's like a lot of weird stuff, which I'm sure if you're moving from majors to minors to majors to minors, and then all of a sudden you're using a different ball, that's going to throw you off a little bit, especially if you're a primary breaking guy, not a primary fastball guy.
Okay. So here's his major league. You can see the major league profile here. JA stuff is new. It's really tight. It's really tight distribution. So I probably should just fix that to more match other people instead of having to explain it every time. But for right now, like 97 doesn't sound that bad, but it's awful. Like it's really bad because in my distribution, it's like 108 is the best. So 8 above 100 is the absolute best, and then the reverse of that would be true. So he's like halfway toward the bottom. So, but it was only 200 pitches thrown. But yeah, I remember those starts because he was another guy I drafted a bit, kind of thinking he would get in the rotation and maybe be a good whip because of such a low walk rate. But that didn't happen at all in the major leagues, and then wasn't even that good in the minors. So probably nothing. He's just one of those guys, I guess, for the insane dynasty leagues where the innings are the most important thing to find rather than having super quality for everybody.
Yep, for sure. Number 9 is White Sanford. White Sanford was the second round pick for the Pirates in 2024. Had a really nice season. It kind of struggled toward the end. Like his first half was really strong. Second half, he kind of dialed back a little bit, but he was 19 at A-ball. And he was a complex, I guess, too, for a little bit this year. But between the two levels, 5 home runs, 34 steals, decent batting average. I think Sanford is going to turn out. Plate approach is pretty solid. And obviously, like he was hitting in Florida, which is always rough. But he needs to. There's another guy who needs to hit the ball in the air a little bit more, less on the ground, to really maximize the profile because he pulls the ball a lot. And so if you're pulling the ball as a lefty on the ground, that's not a good thing. You're not like lefties pulling the ball on the ground is like death of lefties. Like I watched Matt Carpenter do that for like 5 years
Yeah, as
Cardinals.
long as they don't even have to catch the ball to get you out. They just like if they knock it down, you're out. You don't have to make a throw or anything like
Yeah.
that. So yeah,
Yep. So that's the main thing is he's just got to get the ball in there more as a lefty pull guy.
steals
But I
though,
like him.
54% stolen base attempt rate. That's massive.
Yeah, he's a solid name to watch. Uh, so next on the list is number 8, Sammy Stafura. They got him in an interdivisional trade, which is kind of weird, right? From the Reds.
Well, to the Pirates, nobody cares about strengthening the Pirates.
I guess so.
Was that for
Uh,
Hayes then, Cabrian?
yeah, I like Stafura a lot. I actually can't believe they traded him for that. I've seen him a lot of times. He was hitting third. I saw him when he was with the Reds in A ball a few times this year and a few times last year. Because Daytona's pretty close to me, so I see the Daytona Tortugas a lot here in Jupiter. And he was hitting third this year for that team. So they traded their A ball 3-hole hitter for Cabron Hayes, but his F scores are insane. He's got a 104 power, 102 hit, 101 discipline, 118 speed. So he's more above average than Kalen Moss at all those things. He's also younger and playing a premium position. So I like Sephora a lot. I think he's really good.
He's
And
probably 21 now. These ages, just for people that are really into the dashboards, this will refresh every day during the season because it recalculates based on the birthday. But I have no reason to like run the scripts in the off season, so I'm not going to get up and run all the code just to update the ages. But maybe I'll do it once in January or something. But if you're being super particular, he's probably 21 by now.
he's not, but
No,
he
okay,
almost,
really soon,
almost,
really soon.
almost. Yes, yes, in a month. Premature birthday for here, but barrel 9.3% barrel rate. So he makes quality contact. He doesn't hit the ball like super max EVs, but I think that has the potential to be like a major league 15 homer, 20-25 steal guy. I don't know. I kind of when he was with the Reds, it's hilarious. I actually comped him to Matt McClain. I was like, he reminds me of Matt McClain. So now he's with the Pirates. So maybe he's like a Pirates Matt McClain. Like how well he hits is all going to be dependent upon him making quality contact. So as long as he's barreling balls up and getting sweet spots, he's going to be really good. But if he's not doing that, then I don't know because his contact rates are a little bit subpar and the EVs are like not elite. They're just kind of like average. But he's a good athlete, good build. So
Okay, he'll be turning 21, so plenty of time to either get better or ruin his life with alcohol, I guess.
yep. No, number 7 is starting pitcher Hunter Barco. Hunter Barco, we saw at the very tail end here. I actually think there's a ton of value here in Barco right now.
Yeah.
I picked him up at the very end of the season in a couple dynasty leagues where, like, for whatever reason, he wasn't owned. I think there's one league where he came up as a reliever and someone dropped him because he came up as a reliever instead of as a starter. And I'm like, oh, you're dumb. He's going to start next year. And I just picked him right up. I like Barco a lot. He's been very, very good, except for when he's been hurt. So his problem so far in his minor league career has been injuries because he has not pitched 100 innings in a season yet. Except this year when you combined his MLB and MILB, he reached 102. And he was drafted first in the first round, or no, sorry, he was a second rounder, but he was drafted back in 2022. So he's played now 3 minor league seasons, and this is the first time he's reached 100 innings because of injuries. But big time K potential here. In 2024, he had a 22.9% K rate. He was lighting up AA this year, had a pretty rough time at AAA, but I've talked about it a lot in the past on my pod, other pods, whatever, that like AAA is just really messed up. Like we already talked about the ABS and stuff in this pod. So like it's a weird environment. Like you can like he had under 3.5 xFIP at every level until AAA, and then all of a sudden he got rocked. So like I don't know, just AAA is kind of weird because they make you pitch in this tiny little zone. You can't use your braking stuff because they're just not going to swing at it. It's weird stuff.
So sinker first. I mean, I don't like that. It's only 46 pitches, but he doesn't have a four seamer. Although that's a big.
Oh no, he's got a four seamer. Okay. I think he just didn't throw it in his little major league.
What did he make? 2 appearances. So,
debut. Okay. Yeah.
Didn't want to give away the game. Still got plenty of whiffs on those 46 pitches, so that's good. I was just worried because I followed him closely because I saw like the two minor league seasons ago he had like one of the best K to walk ratios in all of baseball, so that was looking really good, and I think that fell off. this year, and I was wondering if like, let's see, actually, let's pull this one up. So another dashboard here. This just has the more basic box score data, but it's a little bit more reliable. So 2024, I was thinking in the minors, 23% K to walk, looking really good, 105 whip. And then last year fell to 16%, so pretty big fall off there. But maybe it has something to do with the AAA thing. I mean, 29% K to walk and shorter time in AA, but then looks like AAA's is issue. So yeah, I mean, Jerry Jones probably doesn't start in the rotation next year. Probably still recovering a little bit, but maybe they move Keller this offseason. But Skeens, Keller, Chandler, who am I missing here? And then I guess at least there's at least one spot kind of open. Maybe
Oviedo,
yeah.
and Barco, I guess.
And then maybe Ashcraft becomes a starter. I don't know. It's not a slam dunk, I guess, but yeah.
I like Barco better than Ashcraft. I always have. But like if you pull up his minor league, his F scores: 105 F stuff, 102 F control, 110 F ERA. So minor league stats were all good this year, and like you'll see his fastballs are okay. Like he's got sinker cutter, but the slider and the splitter are really where he's making his money.
Okay.
So
maybe some weird classification things going on because
I think the cutter is actually a force. I mean, I don't know.
Some of the sinkers too. Yeah. That's a pretty high. That's a really high swinging strike rate for a sinker. So I wouldn't suspect that's a normal sinker, and pretty low ground ball rate too. So maybe some weird classification stuff going on. Does he have if he has a strange delivery or something like that? Sometimes they can fool the little algorithm.
Yeah, he's a lefty, so sometimes lefties from like a 3/4 arm slot is gonna come out different. Okay. Next, number 6 is Termarr Johnson, second baseman, former first rounder, been around for a hot minute.
Screw this guy. I thought he'd be like the all-star second baseman as of last year, and then.
Well, this is the thing. He was a high school pick, and he was picked 4th overall. But not every high school pick is going to be Connor Griffin. You know what I mean? Like not every high school pick is going to just be an absolute stud out of the gate. But he's been very good. I mean, like no one can say he hasn't been solid. Because like every year so far, like for instance, if we're just going to even use WRC plus, he debuted. He played as a high schooler in A ball, as an 18-year-old in A ball. Still had a 137 WRC plus in 2022. 2023 139 WRC plus. 2024 116, and then this year 2025 119. So it's like he's been bad. He has a good plate approach, so really good plate skills. Walks a lot, doesn't strike out much. So one of the things that's going to ding him is that people are going to look at his batting average and they're going to be like, oh, this guy is not that good. But he's the type that's overly patient. And he's going to walk more than he's going to hit. But he does also have like the skill set to hit 15 bombs and 20 steals. So he's had 20 steals in the last two seasons. He's had 22 steals and 20 steals.
22, yep.
So yeah, I mean, like you look at the F scores there, like he's solid. Like people ding him, but remember too, he's playing underage level. He's a 21-year-old playing in AA. He was 20 years old last year playing in high A and AA. So he's been under age to level a little bit too. So you've got to give him a little bump for age to level. So I'd factor in like he's playing at least 1 year under age to level. So you got to give him a little credit there.
5'8", he's going to go into this Pirates team with all these 6'5" dudes. I mean, that can't be good for the psyche.
It's gonna be fun. You just grab a picture of him standing next to O'Neal Cruz, and boom, it's David and Goliath or whatever.
How tall are you, Tim?
I am 6 foot.
6 foot. Okay.
Even
you never know.
5'11" sometimes.
You can never tell, obviously, with people on the internet. I mean, pretty much everybody I know, I just know from the internet, right? I have real life friends, but like so many of these people at my real job and doing stuff like this, like you know what they look like, you know their personality and stuff, but you have no idea how tall they are. So I feel like if I ever meet some of these people, I'd be like stunned if they're really tall or really short. But I'm a hair under 5'10", so you got me there.
Yeah, Welsh is like 6'4" or 6'5" or something. He's a beast. Next is Esmeralyn Valdez. So we talked a little bit about him before. He's one of my favorite. He's actually in the fall league, and I think he already had two. I think in the first 2 games he had home runs in the fall league this year. So he's a fun one to watch for Arizona fall league people. But he went up to high A and double A this year. I saw him last year at A ball, and completely different player. Last year at A ball, 22 home runs. 1 ERA, 1.93. 22 home runs, 1 ERA, 1.93. So bad batting average, but that was in Florida. So 22 home runs in Florida is actually pretty good. And then high A and double A this year combined for 26 home runs, 156 WRC plus. So you see that 128 power if you're watching on YouTube on the F scores. That's for real. 97 hit tool, 98 discipline. This is a power hitter. And like I said, fall league, he already has 2 bombs there. And he's also younger. He's only 21 in double A this year. So we'll see next year. He'll probably debut at 22 AAA. Maybe at the end of the year, he's up, cup of coffee. We'll see. I mean, like, I guess it depends on what the Pirates do. Are they actually going to spend money for once or what? But he's close.
Who would they even spend money on? I mean, that you're not the biggest major league guy, I guess, but because from the Pittsburgh perspective, everybody's like, spend money, and I know, like, I'm fully on board with that. But
Kyle Schwarber.
Okay, yeah, but like Schwarber's not going to go to that meeting, right?
Well, I mean, if you pay him a lot, who knows? Pick him up in a helicopter. Send a helicopter to go get him.
Do you think? I don't know. I guess some people are just all about the contract, but for me, this isn't what we're here to talk about. But Schwarber, it feels like he's a Philly guy now, and he would take less money to stay in Philly rather than just take the highest offer, especially for like people talk about the. No, I don't know if that's probably people talk about maybe the White Sox going after some big names like Schwarber or Pete Alonso or something. It's just like, I don't know. Do you guys really want to go from like the pennant race to one of these teams, even if it's more money? It beats me. But
Alonso, there'd be some pretty home runs there with that bridge. That'd be cool to get one of those guys. Yeah. They should. I mean, I don't know. What are you gonna do? Extend Skeens and buy. You need a power hitter in that team. Go buy a power hitter.
I think they got to do it like just. I don't know. I just don't think I don't think the right move for them is to go after the big names. I think it's just try to kind of go for the medium names and try to put something together. But yeah, it's been. I mean, they've given one multi-year free agent contract out in like the last 20 years or something insane like that. As Francisco Liriano, they just don't do that. So it's probably not happening. So they're really relying on these young guys. But maybe if the young guys can all kind of hit together, maybe they can put something together and they can be maybe something can happen. I don't know.
Come trade for Nolan Arenado.
He's free. So that's right. That's something that is actually kind of in the conversation. I think like kind of eat an ugly contract a little bit on a veteran player that nobody else really wants, but they're a lot better than what you have.
Yeah, buy Pete Alonso so that Nolan Arenado waives his trade clause. Then trade for Arenado. You've already got the pitching. You've got Cruz. That's a fun team.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 4 is Seth Hernandez, first round pick this year.
I knew that.
A lot of people think Seth Hernandez was the best player out of this entire draft class.
Did he pitch this year?
No. You mean in pro ball? No, only in high school.
Nothing to show. I mean, I'm just like.
Yeah, nothing to show.
Okay.
But let me pull him up real quick. I love the delivery. Throws the ball hard. I'm pulling up my rankings right up real quick here.
But he's a high school pick, you said?
Yeah, he was a high schooler.
So you're
he throws a 4-seamer between 94 to 100 miles an hour with arm side run. So I threw grades on these. I give him a 60 with a future 70 grade on the 4-seamer. He also throws a 2-seamer, 93 to 97. I threw a 50 with a potential 60 on that 2-seamer. Throws a changeup, 81 to 84. I threw a 65 grade future grade on that changeup. 86 to 88 mile per hour slider. So he's already throwing the slider really hard. I threw a 50 on the slider, and then he's got a curveball that I threw a 45 to 55 on, 77 to 82 mile per hour curve. He's got command, big dude, really smooth delivery. And my comp for him was actually Andrew Painter. So I comped prospect to a prospect there, but kind of similar, like pedigrees, backgrounds, pitch type, development. So just hopefully he doesn't have to run into Tommy John like Painter did before he makes the pros, but I think he's going to be a fast.
What's the quickest possible time frame a high schooler can get into the majors?
Oh, I think he could be a 2-year minors guy. Like we could see, it's very possible we see him in 2028.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what kind of leagues? I mean, are there dynasty leagues where you're okay with that? Just sitting on somebody? Okay.
Yeah. Right now I'm in a Doc got me into a 30-team league, and it's 26-man rosters, salary. You got a 26-man minor league system.
Okay. And
the team I took over has a really, really crappy farm system. So I would I would kill for that guy in this league. Like he'd be my top prospect already in that league.
Yeah.
So
Is
yeah,
that what
deep
I should
league. Yeah,
do? Is that the kind of league we should do for the MLB Data Warehouse
yeah. I
Dynasty?
think we should do a 30-team league
That'd be
with the
crazy.
first year with the minor league rosters and the first year player draft and all the stuff.
Because my
And
problem is like, okay, I'm thinking even if I know the guy will be a stud in 3 years, I'm like, am I going to be in this league in three? Like, am I going to just not care about this league so much that I just like give up the team? You know, it's hard to look that far
what?
out, but I guess that's your advantage.
Yeah, well, what happens once you get into dynasty, John, is that those are the leagues you actually like really care about.
I bet. Yeah.
Like those are the leagues that you love because it's like even if you're out of it, you still have something to build for,
Yeah.
right? Like if you're in the middle of the pack and then you have to decide, okay, do I want to sell or do I want to buy? And you can go into the deadline and you're not just toast. It's like it's there's no nihilism, right? There's like always something to work for. And
Okay.
so when you start building like a farm system, you're not going to not care about it. You're not going to say, oh, my team sucks. I quit on this league. Instead, you're going to be like, hey, my team sucks. Let me like get some good prospects and try to rebuild this team. And
So
there's like there's still fun involved even if your team sucks.
I can see it. Yeah. Seth Hernandez. Well, let's see. First, okay, 30. I mean, 30 team. That sounds nuts, but you can do it. I guess Fantrax has all these players. Is that where you have to do it, Fantrax?
Fantrax is the most customizable, so that would be what I would recommend. I have some odd new leagues too, but you can't get 30 team deep. They max
Yeah.
out at 16 teams.
Okay.
But that's kind of the same deal where you've got a salary and you've got a 40-man roster and
All
stuff.
right, you'll help me put that together. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I might try to. My offer, I think, is gonna be that I will pay somebody's yearly dues if they be the commissioner, because I don't want to be the commissioner.
that's the move. Being the commissioner sucks. I'm the
Yeah,
commissioner of 2 leagues and it
yeah,
sucks.
yeah. So I'll pay for somebody's entry, which will be significant. I think it'll be 100 or $200, but we'll get that going. How about for first year player drafts this year? We should probably do a podcast about that by itself
Yes,
in January or December or something. But where would Hernandez rank on something like that?
I think we should also do a podcast for that. 1 second, I'm going to pull my ranking up. I'll tell you
You already
exactly
have
what it is.
nice. I would guess
Yeah,
like
I've already
outside of.
ranked. I've already done like a top 150 first year player draft.
I'd guess he's like 30 or 40.
I've got him at number 9.
Okay. How about that?
Number 9. So,
But that would be league. That'd be like league size specific, right? Like if you don't have a huge farm.
so that's first year player draft. So that's anyone who's first year player draft eligible, which includes international guys. So you've got like Murakami, the guy from Japan coming over,
Yeah, yeah.
who's hit like 40 home runs in Japan or whatever before as a third baseman. He's only 25, so he's my number 1 FYPD guy. But so Seth Hernandez is number 9, including all the international guys.
Okay. All right. It's a good sidebar there, but let's finish it out.
Yep. Number 3 is Edward Florentino. So Edward Florentino, we already mentioned kind of at the beginning of the podcast, is that he has the best overall F score of anyone.
Is this the F score poster boy?
Yes.
Yeah. Is he the guy?
He's so good. I saw him, and I told the story on my podcast. But like, I was going to a game to catch him this year, and like I tried to see him and couldn't get him. And then, so when I was going, I was like, okay, it's a 6:00 start. Every Saturday game starts at 6:00 the whole year. And I'm sitting there eating dinner before I went to the game, and I'm eating freaking tacos. And then my phone gets an alert. It says Edward Florentino home run. And I'm like, what? And it was like, this is at like 4:15 or 4:20. I was like, what? The game didn't start yet. So I looked on my phone. And for whatever reason, this is the only Saturday game the whole year that they adjusted the start time to 4:00. So he opened the game off with a home run, and I missed it. And then I went to the game after. Like, I literally like dropped my food and ran to the game, brought like 2 of my kids, went to the game. And he hit a double when I saw him and then struck out 3 times, I think.
Nice.
But really good hitter here. You pulled him up already. The main thing with Florentino is his angles are like insane. Like it's so weird to see a kid this young hit with such optimal angles. Look at the launch angle optimization there. Like everything he's hitting is between like 20 to 40 degrees. Like this guy is hitting crazy angles. So on the year he hit 290, 400, 548, 16 home runs, 35 steals, plays outfield and first base, and that was between complex and A ball where he did that.
Complex data is not here. That's why the numbers don't
But
match.
but look at that air pull, John. 22.5% air pull is absolutely insane with a 37.3% sweet spot and a 9.2% barrel. with that 26-degree average launch angle. Like, you put all those things together, like, this guy is just the angle king.
Yeah. Let's pull up some air pull leaders. Oh, that's how this thing is
It's
sorted. How about that? That's
yeah.
default. Who did that? I guess I did
Uh,
that. The average is 14.5%. Woj Florentino was.
yeah, you've got a bunch of outliers on top. He's at 22.
All right.
So Rainiel Rodriguez beat him, but a lot of those other guys, like Joe Mack, a lot of those other guys probably didn't.
Yeah, look at the age. These guys are all like
27.
Right.
Yeah,
he's the only one near. What we can do? Didn't I put an age group on this? Yeah, we can drop this to under 22 and see how he pops up the list at number 6. So the angle, you kind of think that the angle stuff is kind of something you usually learn with time, and it's really rare to see a young guy do it.
Yeah,
or the launch. That's what we're talking about. Launch angle stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, a lot of the other guys we talked about have really nice tools, but they can't hit quality angles. So he's doing that with an 85.4% contact rate and a 90.6% zone contact rate as an 18-year-old. That's absolutely insane. Like, when you combine his abilities to make contact and then also make quality contact at the same time, like, this guy is going to be a superstar, I think. Plus, he's 6'4", 200 pounds. So, like, you can't teach that.
So, like, Mike Trout or Edward Florentino in a dynasty league right now.
Florentino.
Alonso or Florentino.
Depends on if you're competing right now. Okay. Yeah, I would say if you're in the middle, Florentino. If you're like a top 5 team or whatever, then probably Alonso. Number 2 on the list is Bubba Chandler. So Bubba Chandler made his debut finally after all that sitting around and waiting. He finally debuted.
That was weird. This guy in my home league and our just like 10-man high school buddy. I mean, we're from Pittsburgh, so that had something to do with it. He picked Bubba Chandler up in like mid-April. It was like 2 weeks into the season. He picked him up and just sat on him all year. And then this guy finished 5th. He didn't make the playoffs. I think he finished 5th. He just missed it, and it's like you probably would have made the playoffs if you hadn't wasted the entire season on Bubba Chandler. That was strange.
Yeah,
it was weird.
I mean, I told people, no one's going to remember this, I don't think. But at the beginning of the season, a lot of people were like, "Draft Bubba Chandler. He's going to be up early, like during draft season."
That was me.
Yeah.
I said that.
And I said, "Do not draft Bubba Chandler," because I said, "I guarantee you, Thomas Harrington's going to get called up first," and then he did.
But you got lucky because if Chandler were pitching how he was the previous year, it would have been different.
He was still good at the beginning of the year. I do not forget his first 10 starts of the year were all really, really good. He only started getting bad like in the middle of the season when he realized they were going to call him up. And he's like, "Well, this sucks." He's like, and so that's why I was talking to Jeff Ponce about this on my podcast. Due to just lack of mental stimulation, or
how could you know?
frustration, rather than like him just being bad now. I think that's what it was. I mean, like, you saw he played pretty well when he got out to the majors. I think he was just pissed off and frustrated and got bored in AAA. And he's like, "Well, what's the point? What does it matter if they're not going to call me up anyway?"
Maybe 22% K to walk in the majors. That was 30 innings, decent sample size. Finished with 7, 6, and 6 strikeouts in his 3 starts at the end there. So yeah, he'll be an interesting rank for a redraft. We're really not talking about him as a prospect anymore. He's in the Pirates rotation, probably their game 2 starter next year. I don't know, maybe they give it to Keller as the veteran thing, but yeah, I wonder where he goes in redraft. I guess I'll be getting to that as we do the player rankings and stuff. I'll be on that big time. My big thing in the off season is team previews, and I rank players one by one. So I'll get to the Pirates in a few weeks, and but that'll be an interesting one. I mean, is Chandler like a top 30 starting pitcher because of the upside, or does he fall a little bit because of the frustrating last season? I don't know, but certainly going to be on every league's radar next year.
Redrafts, I would say he's easily top 40-ish. Yeah. Dynasty, definitely higher. Yeah. Top 25, 30, something like that. Number 1, obviously, this is the number 1 prospect in all of baseball. It's Connor Griffin. If you don't have, I mean, some people like McGonigal better, I guess, but I don't know. For me, it's kind of common sense to have Connor Griffin because nobody else can do what he does. Basically, he's Ellie De La Cruz for the Pirates. Very similar skill set. Okay contact. Hits the ball on the ground too much, but tons of power despite hitting the ball on the ground too much and ridiculous speed. So that's Connor Griffin.
Yeah,
shell.
You don't hate the ground balls if the guy can run.
Yeah, which you can.
Yeah.
I mean, what did he have? 70-something stolen bases on the season. So I think he was 2070 or something this year. 65 steals, 21 home runs.
Here, what you can do here too. This is fun to do. I think he was among. So we can drop the hitter's main tab. We'll go to full-ish season's worth. Go to 400 plate appearances. We can sort by DK per PA. So when I started all this, I was really into DraftKings. Still am DFS. But anytime you see DK, that means fantasy points. So it's just fantasy points using the DraftKings scoring setting. So we sort by fantasy points scored per plate appearance in all of professional baseball, 400 and those 65 steals. I don't know, did he play in one of those leagues that would have counted, or did he start?
Yeah, he was an A ball. So he was A, high A, double A. So worked his way all the way up to double A.
65 steals with 527 slug. I mean, just absolutely everything. He's elite in every category. I guess that's why it's number one.
Yeah, I mean, his hit tool is like, I would say his hit tool is like maybe slightly above average. Yeah. Like that's like a 55 maybe or something like that. 55, 60, maybe.
There are plenty of
the power and speed is 70.
Yeah, tools. Aren't there are probably plenty of major league stud hitters that don't have great hit tool. Like if you have power and speed, it makes up.
Yeah, it totally makes up for it. Like I said, he's basically Ellie De La Cruz does not have a great hit tool. Yeah. But he's just so tooled out that it doesn't matter. And Griffin is basically the same. Like a lot of people like to say Connor Griffin reminds them of Bobby Witt, but to me it's Ellie. It's like you're just trying to compare two white guys. That's why you say Bobby Witt. It's like no, like he's actually like his batted ball profile and everything is like way more like Ellie De La Cruz than like Bobby Witt.
Yeah, I got called racist for comparing Kumar Rocker to Hunter Green, and I was like, this guy's just, the same guy. Like, I guess I was wrong that I was thinking he was 4-seam slider, but so I was a little bit wrong. But everybody was like, I woke up one morning and all these people have been making us rate. I was like, I don't know, it's just a guy with a big fastball and slider who doesn't have the greatest command. I mean, Hunter Green ended up having elite command, but I don't know. So yeah, it is funny that the physical appearance goes into the comps. Like it's hard to not do that, I guess, as a human.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also Griffin, I think, is much taller than Witt, 6'4", 225. Yeah, body type is actually more like Ellie's. He's just a white guy.
So the real question is it seems like Griffin can probably play in the majors next year. Obviously not before Super 2 stuff, whatever. But if the Pirates are drawing dead again, they probably want to save the year, and it's certainly no guarantee.
Yeah, I doubt he debuts next year. Okay. I mean, I was right on Bubba Chandler. I doubt he debuts next year, even if they spend money, even if they go sign Pete Alonso and trade for Nolan Arenado or whatever.
Yeah, man. But if he's I doubt if he's in AAA lighting the world on fire, how do you do that? I don't know. After a few weeks after, they had a pretty good reason for it. They're he's walking 4 guys in every outing. They kind of had an excuse to use, but.
Yeah, I mean, look, he only played 21 games at AA. He's going to start the season next year at AA. He'll probably be there until May or something like that. Then go up to AAA. Figure he'll be in AA till May or June. It'd be awesome. Go to AAA, and then maybe he comes up for a cup of coffee. But yeah, I don't know.
If he gets any injury, any IL stint,
yeah, unless the Pirates are really pushing, if they're dominating and they're we're a World Series team this year, then maybe. But if they're borderline playoff team or something, then I doubt they bring him up. They would have to be literally hey, we're gonna win the World Series this year if we call up Connor Griffin. Impossible. Do it. Yeah.
What's the rule with it's fairly new where the teams have some incentive to call these guys up because they get an extra year or something if the guy finishes.
The thing is, they've already got Bubba Chandler, so Bubba Chandler still qualifies as rookie next year. So they already have that hat in the ring for next.
What is that rule though? Do you know?
So you get an extra first round pick.
Okay.
So if you win, if you're, I can't remember if it's first and second, but it's the top 2 guys, I think is what it is. In each league, if you finish first or second rookie of the year voting, your team gets an extra a compensation round pick. So it's not
yeah. But you can only get one, but they'd still double their chances at getting it.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of teams have gotten really good players on those comp picks. So it makes sense. The incentive is there for sure. I mean, like, look at the Orioles this year. The Orioles won picks, and they had a killer draft this year because they had picks from, I guess, from Gunner and from someone. I don't know. They had more or less like 4 first-round picks this year. They had 4 picks in like the top 40 picks or something.
Okay. Cool. All right, that's the Pirates.
Yeah, that's the Pirates. So thanks for watching, listening, however you consume this content. Follow at Fantasy Aceball on Twitter. Follow at John PGH on X, Twitter, whatever you call it. And then also subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse. Make sure you subscribe so you can use all the fun tools. And there's going to be a pod coming out about how to use the F scores and what the F scores are.
Yeah, how about I never congratulated myself for buying MLBDataWarehouse.com. That's pretty new. So again, shout out to me.
How much did you spend?
Not much. It was $70 for 5 years. Nice.
Someone was holding my construction company's.com hostage, so I had to buy .net.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wanted like MLB DW because Data Warehouse is actually kind of tricky to type. It's kind of a hard one, but MLB DW was taken. But yeah, it was cheap. So it really does depend on like how generic the words are, but we got it.
Yes.
So all right, so I'll shut up.
Nice.
You take us out.
Peace out, everybody, and I think we're gonna dock on next time to talk. What's the next team, John? I already forgot.
The
somebodies. It's the Angels. LA Angels. Yep.
Angels.
We're gonna talk Angels next. Angels in the outfield. Peace out, everybody. See you.